sighted. Cast 2. Strike.
On today's Sportsman's Adventures, we pay tribute to one of our greatest friends. He is a legend in the truest sense of the word. Over the past 30 years, Stu Apte has been a mentor and inspiration to fishermen, guides, and sportsmen from around the world. He not only holds numerous world records, Stu is a well-traveled sportsman. In fact, he's caught fish on every continent. In many ways, he has been Florida's fishing ambassador to the rest of the world. On this adventure, Stu has offered us a rare opportunity to look back at his early days when he helped put Florida sport fishing on the map.
The silver king of the sea is really my favorite fish. They're one of the most sought after and hardest fighting game fish that you can find anywhere, really. They come up, roll like a dolphin, like a porpoise, and they take air. You have to pole a boat along the shallow flats in order to find them. If you ran your engine, you'd certainly scare them. If you can get a presentation to the fish without them knowing that you're there, without them being aware, they'll eat quite readily. The minute I hook the fish, I no longer look at them. I forget about them, and I worry about clearing my line. The best way to fish for tarpon is with a fly rod, and the reason for this, you can get the fly to the fish without making a splash in the water. The fly floats somewhat. The real sport is to use a fly rod, a 12 or a 15-pound test leader. And the fish, of course, are large fish. They run on up to over 200 pounds. And after you hook the tarpon, if everything goes well, then the fight's on. I've always felt that fighting big fish with light tackle is similar to being in the boxing ring. Initially, you must kind of backpedal, counterpunch, but when the fish starts slowing down after his initial big runs and jumps, then you have to come in slugging. It's important to have the fighting instinct all the time, and the fish rejuvenates so much faster than you do. The easiest tarpon to catch is the one that jumps. Now, they almost always will do some jumping, but if you get a fish that stays in the same area and jumps time and time again, he exerts a lot of energy. The fish that I like to really catch will jump 6 or 7 or 8 times, and will be a fairly short fight for the tackle that I'm using. The best catches are the ones that are within 30 or 40 minutes or less. You have to be close enough to them. You have to have a good guide or a good companion in the boat pulling after the fish, keeping close enough to them that when this happens, you can get them. If you were to stay right in the position that you were when you hooked the fish, chances are the fish would take all of your line. Just take it off right now on the first run. Come on, get it back again. When a tarpon is landed, we seldom kill the fish. The only time we would be if it were a record fish, and the guides in the Florida Keys will seldom, if ever, bring a tarpon in unless the angler wants to have it mounted or if it's a record fish. So rather than use a big body gap, which would, of course, kill the fish, we use what we term a small release gaff. Large tarpon, over 130 pounds. We get the fish to the boat. The guide will insert the gaff in the lower jaw of the tarpon, putting it through the soft, thin membrane underneath the lower jaw, which heals rapidly after you release the fish. It doesn't hurt the fish at all. And before you release the fish, you should give it artificial respiration. The guide will hold the fish by the head, underneath the head, holding the head into the current while the angler holds the tail, working the fish back and forth, therefore forcing water through the mouth and out the gills, creating oxygen for the fish. Hold him until the fish rejuvenates enough to swim away under his own power. And that fish will live to grow larger and fight harder and be a little more wily the next time you cast a fly to him.
Salute the gallant fighter and let him go.
Sportsman's Adventures is brought to you by Florida, the fishing capital of the world. Yamaha, when you want the best. Rapala, your best shot at a world record. Rapala Line, premium fishing line crafted from experience. Maverick, fish the legend. Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better.
Almost 1,200 miles of coastline, 12,000 miles of rivers and streams, nearly 8,000 lakes over 10 acres, over 700 world records, and 3.4 million anglers a year. In fact, anglers outnumber golfers 2 to 1. Whether you're casting a plug along the shore or trolling the blue waters of the Gulf Stream, you're enjoying a vast outdoor resource. Relax, get closer to nature, and spend time with friends and family. Go fishing right here in the fishing capital of the world.
Yamaha's Big Block V6 4-strokes. Everything you want when you're miles offshore. Everything and more. Up to 250 ocean-conquering horses. More than enough top-end muscle to move the big boats. Yamaha turn-the-key reliability translates to confident starts. Quiet, clean-burning performance. Smooth, powerful acceleration and cruise all-day fuel efficiency. Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
You know, I fish all over the world in over 300 days a year on the water. And as a matter of fact, I spend more time on the water than on dry land. If it swims in salt water, I catch it. Out here, where the fish are big and mean, your lures really take a beating. To survive, they must be tougher than the fish you're backcountry to blue water, my choice in lures is simple. All over the world, big fish eat little fish that swim like a rapala.
It takes a little more to make it out here. It's about guts, standing up to the elements, and quietly doing the job when others have long gone home. It takes Riptide, the toughest, most corrosion-resistant trolling motor ever built. When your reputation's on the line, hang it on Riptide, only from Minn Kota.
I fish tournaments to win, period. And my boat helps me do that. I gotta run longer, faster, harder than anyone else, day after day, every day. My Hughes is designed by anglers that actually build boats to do that. These guys are driven. If they can satisfy my needs, they can satisfy yours. So, who's gonna build your next gift?
Maverick, Hughes, Pathfinder, flat skiffs, tunnel skiffs, and bay boats. Maverick Boat Company, angler driven. Stu Apte is known around the world as one of fishing's top anglers, and recently he was honored by the International Game Fish Association by being inducted into their Hall of Fame. We sat down with Stu and talked about this special IGFA award and about his lifetime on the water.
You know, Stu, we're here at the IGFA Hall of Fame, and the reason is you're being inducted into the Fishing Hall of Fame, something that I know is long overdue, but more than that, I know that it's something that you don't like talking about, being acknowledged for all the great things you've done in fishing. But tell me what this means to you.
The feeling is so deep, you know. So many of my mentors are long since passed on that are in the IGFA Hall of Fame. Joe Brooks, Ted Williams are two, just to mention there, Lee Wolf. There are just so many of them, and it's just that accentuates the honor. Something you dream about in your adult life, not as a kid because it wasn't then, but it's hard to explain. I am just very proud and pleased to be here.
Up the Keys a ways is a group of islands called Islamorada.
Those were some great times to be in the Florida Keys, and to have someone like Stu to share these memories is a treat for all of us who dream about the good old days.
There are professional guys like the internationally famous Captain Stu Apte, in this instance seeking the Bonefish, otherwise known as liquid lightning. He's sighted. Cast 2. Strike. Salute the gallant fighter and let him go.
Under these ripples, there's a bonefish. But presenting the fly to him correctly is usually not enough, as the bone is one of the spookiest fish around. They feed in water so shallow that sometimes their tail breaks clear of the surface. A sure target for our angler. He's on, and away he goes. Follow him fast, or you'll be holding an empty reel. That fight from that little fish. It's a good thing that he's not as big as a tarpon. Back he goes, winded and wiser.
Hey, all right. Good morning, Mr. Coon. This Conservation Minute is brought to you by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Florida's Wildlife Initiative, a bold strategy spearheaded by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to sustain wildlife in the wonderful places they live for the enjoyment and use of our citizens. Florida's Wildlife Legacy Initiative was formed for one reason, a promise to future generations of Floridians that they too will have a chance to enjoy Florida's rich and diverse wildlife heritage and family traditions. The Legacy Initiative identifies habitats and species in need and presents solutions to problems to not only save endangered species, but also to ensure common species remain plentiful. The initiative is an alliance of the FWC and conservation organizations, farmers, hunters, anglers, businesses, other government agencies, and individuals all working together. It's truly a program for all Floridians, providing an unprecedented opportunity for everyone to take an active role. Empower yourself. Sign up now to be part of the initiative by visiting myfwc.com.
Contender boats. Take it to the limit. Wherever you find fishing tournament winners, you'll find contender boat owners. First to the fishing grounds, first to the winner's circle. When you look for strength, versatility, and ocean ability, you find contender boats. Hand-built, one by one, each and every one. Contender Boats is proud to introduce its new 23 Tournament Edition, the latest in true mid-sized offshore fishing rigs. Contender is committed to providing outstanding quality and performance. Nothing else delivers. Expect the most. Contender Boats.
If you're a boater, you know it's required by law to carry at least one life jacket for every passenger on board. Maybe you're thinking, I can swim, I don't need a life jacket. Consider that the leading cause of death in boating accidents is drowning, even though 96% of fatality victims were reported as being able to swim. New inflatable models of life jackets can be worn as a waist pack on a belt. For more information about life jackets and boating safety, visit myfwc.com. And remember, safe boating is up to you.
Wouldn't it be great if you could snap on a lure and just go fishing? With something that looks like, and more importantly, swims like the real thing. With lures that come pre-rigged with the best components available. With baits designed by people who fish all over the world. But most importantly, you tie these on your line, you're going to catch some fish.
The new Humminbird 900 series will change the way you look at fishing. You get the extra dimension of 3D sonar, full chart plotting and GPS, and exclusive side imaging with a picture-like view of the bottom, all on an ultra-wide, high-definition display. The 900 series fishing system doesn't just perform on the water, it practically walks on it. Humminbird, simply, clearly better.
Yamaha's Big Block V6 4-strokes. Everything you want when you're miles offshore. Everything and more. Up to 250 ocean-conquering horses. More than enough top-end muscle to move the big boats. Yamaha turn-the-key reliability translates to confident starts. Quiet, clean-burning performance. Smooth, powerful acceleration and cruise all-day fuel efficiency. Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Where else can you fish for over 50 species of game fish? Where have most world record fish been caught? Where are there more than 8,000 miles of coastline, 12,000 miles of rivers and streams, and 3 million acres of freshwater lakes and ponds? Florida, the fishing capital of the world. For more information, contact the commission office nearest you or go to myfwc.com. Sportsman's Adventures also has some great memories of time spent with Stu Apte. In fact, Rick is Stu's favorite tarpon fishing guide, and working together as a team, they've chased the Silver King over miles and miles of Florida Bay flats.
Want me to just wing it?
No, I think they're moving back to your right.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'll just wing one
Right
anyway.
there, right there. Shoot that one. Good. I think they're just to the left of that. You might get a bite. Strip it, Stu. I think he's 10 feet to the left of that. Good job. Good job, Stewie. Hey, hey.
That's what you call winging it anyway. Is it?
You still got it.
On, yeah.
You want to whack him again?
Oh, I've whacked him a few times. He's a wacko.
Good job, Dave. Hey. All right. Good morning, Mr. Poon. Good morning, Mr. Poon.
Yeah, I was really concerned about all these weeds, Rick.
Oh.
And I had to get it under the weeds.
I don't know why you're usually concerned about anything. The way you cast, the way you throw it in his face. You don't have anything to be concerned about, bud. Good job.
Oh, he's out there quite a ways.
You really make it look easy. I'm gonna get on the scooter.
Shaking his head. One of those
You gonna make me
tough
work?
males shaking
You
his
gonna
head
make
for a
me
jump,
work
I think.
this morning? You gonna make me work?
Well, he's racking his head back and forth, not too happy with old Stu.
I'll try and get you on that fly line again,
That's
buddy.
what I'd like. That way I can give them.
Let me know when that fly line comes back.
I will. Keep the fly line coming through the rod. Fly line's coming through the guides on the reel.
I got you.
Too late. Too late. Now he's getting out there where I can put some pressure on him. Like now.
You wanna come up and do his?
Yeah. Little.
Yeah. There you go.
Pretty
Good job.
fish.
Nice bow.
Thank you.
You okay?
Who?
You.
Why?
Well, I just didn't see you putting it on him like
Well,
you
I was
normally
doing
do.
something to my reel.
Oh. Leader?
Not quite. Just gonna do us something right about here because I'm gonna give him the angle. There we go.
Oh, he doesn't like that. Leader in the tip top almost.
Leader is in the tip top then.
Head shaker coming up.
Oh yeah.
You ready for me yet?
Not quite.
I think I can get down and get my glove.
Yeah, you can
Stick
do that.
Okay, I'm gonna stick it and tie us off.
Nail knots to the first stripping guide.
Is that right? In the tournament, Stu, anytime they get that leader, as you know,
It's a caught fish.
but a lot of people don't. That would be a caught fish, that's right.
There's my angle.
Get my gloves. They're in here somewhere.
Come on up and see me now, fish.
Oh, that's a little bigger fish than we got earlier. Yeah, got a little girth to him.
Yeah, deep-bodied fish.
80, you'd say?
Maybe.
We can take a better look at him and get him up here, won't we? We're getting ready to shake hands with Dr. Murphy. Buddy, it's sure good to see you up there pulling on Murphy's Law again.
It's always good to pull on Murphy's Law.
Switch that pole over to the other side.
Didn't like that angle, did he? Panic some. Now let's see if we can ease him on up here to look at me again. See, that fly is just in the upper part of his lip. He said, "Ooh, look at that big boat." And he says, "I believe that's that same guy, Stu." Stu who?
He knows who, Stu who.
Oh, look at the colors on that fish, will you?
He's beautiful.
The sun on him, isn't that beautiful?
He is beautiful.
Come on back here, fish.
He is really pretty.
Oh, that was nice.
That was nice. That was nice stuff. Look where he hooked, right at
That's what I say, right on that upper lip there.
It gave him a Stu's favorite mustache.
Just like Rick.
He's got that look about him. I can tell he wants to wet me.
Yeah, he's going to try and do your glasses. Just a second, I'm going to bring him on up here a little.
All right.
He says every time I see that ugly guy with the rod in his hand, I got to get away. I'll bring them right over here for you, Ricky.
Get that grip on him.
Don't let him grip you out of the boat.
Oh, boy. You want to get that fly?
Yeah, I'll get it out. There we go.
All right. Let me see if I can get here.
Do I get to give him a little pat on the cheek?
Sure. Pat him.
All right. What a nice guy you are.
All right.
That is a little better, huh?
Thanks, Mr. Poole. Yep.
He's ready to go, too.
Yeah,
Adios, fish.
All right.
Nicely done, Rick.
Stu, I want to ask you, how many of those, I know how many you've caught, just hundreds and thousands or whatever it is. You look like you're still having just as much fun as the first one.
I do, but you know what I really want to know?
Why am I breathing so hard?
I was the one that fought the fish, and you're breathing like you did it.
We've said this many times before, and it's still true today. We've been lucky to share these experiences with a man who's given so much to the sport, and a man who is so generous with his time and his teachings to both the experienced as well as the beginning fishermen. This tribute by the IGFA is a fitting and well-deserved honor for Stu, a man whose career, passion, and personal friendship has helped make this another great sportsman's adventure.